This is day 438 of Zohar Pshat, and we're in Daf Nunav on base, and we are talking about two nets. The At the bottom, evidently, of the 17 nets, and we are 7 lines at the bottom of Nunav on base. Tchos Elaine train Mishtin. One of these is two nets. Kind of there's something which looks like iron. Two other nets. There's something which looks like copper. Train Kusman There are two chairs, seats on them. Small, one right, one left. All these nets, all these screens connect together. What comes from the pipes we spoke about above, 75, the 365. Vambi and Rishon, they come into these nets. Inun Trey Kosoban, and these two chairs. Chakar Saider Kia Uchma, one is the seat of the black heaven. Chakar Saider Kia Sasgona, one is the seat of the colored, the multicolored heaven. That's the Derech HaMetzah says Kia Sheyesh Lo Gvan Tachash. It says has many. It's multicolored. So and before we get into the black versus the multicolored, so Chazal tell us that metal doesn't. It's not mezia. It talks about it. Shmechem. One of the Tochachas which we're reading this week, I forget which is which, several this week. So one of them says that the heavens is like Necheshes. I think that's from this one's, and the earth's like Barza. The one who goes says the opposite, and it says Rashi says that this week's in the Saba is more of Rachmanis because Necheshes is Mezia. Necheshes gives off a moisture, and that actually is like a little bit of rain, whereas in the land will be like iron, which does give moisture, so it won't rot the fruit and the produce. And in Bakukos, it's the opposite. That the heavens are dry like iron, and the earth gives up moisture like copper, and it rots the fruit. But I says both are cloth, but the question which is the bigger cloth, which is less big cloth. So the two nets here, one is Parsla, and one is Nechasha. And evidently, these are two characteristics in the depths, right? The depths, because both close, right? The metal and the copper are both close. But there's some cloth which is like a metal that gives off no moisture whatsoever, and that is considered to be a bad thing. That iron, I should say, not metal, iron that gives off no moisture whatsoever, whereas the copper does give off some moisture. And as we know, by the way, as long as it's giving up moisture, copper changes over time. It becomes a patina. It becomes green, like the Statue of Liberty is the most famous example, because of the moisture which it gives off. So, whereas copper, if it gets wet, if iron gets wet, it doesn't change color. It gets rusty. Copper does get rusty. It's a different type of process, evidently. But that's off on a tangent. A little bit of science there. But the point is that you have iron and you have copper. And they correspond, evidently, to the black and to the Saskoina, to the multicolored. These are the chairs on top of these screens. So he says, one is the black heavens, chair, and the other is the multicolored heavens chair. When they these two chairs, when they go up, they go to the chair of the black heaven. When they come down, says Gona. They come down to the chair of the multicolors. So evidently, the blackness is what generates the darkness down here below. But somehow there's some connection. And I don't know exactly how it's connected, but I guess through all the networks which we talked about before, between that and the Sasgona below. So I think it's relative. It's black, in that it's dark, but it also, if it's properly used down below, it can create multiple shades. And like the Shasas Bigvanim Harbe Shalo, it can rejoice in that shades, even in the depths of the darkness. There's something going on positive. And he says, it goes on to say, In Shakasu Chami Mina Chami Smola. Okay, the dark one is on the right, and which normally you understand to be chesed. And the Vahud Karsai Yakir says going to be smaller, and the multicolored one's on the left, which only understand to be din. So obviously this is a black light, which allows there to be a multicolored light down here below. And so everything is relative, right? Again, we said Yetzirah is Tov mode, Mavis is Tov mode. The things which generate this darkness in order to find the light in the darkness, and that light can be a multicolored light. A white light, I think, has to go through a prism in order to get to be multicolored, right? Black light also, if it goes through the prism, can be multicolored. Evidently, what we see here. So there's this idea that you could take that which is like Barzel. It doesn't seem to be have any moisture or produce anything positive. It can become like Nechoshes. And it can produce something positive. Okay, it's small because it's in darkness. It's in the time, but it's something positive, and it's Saskoina. It can be multicolored. So in the depths of the darkness, which are generated by this lamp of darkness, there's a tool you can use, evidently, these nets and these lights which come down through the pipelines to make a sasgoina, to make a multicolored hue. When they go up in the chair of the dark heaven, the dark Rekia, they come down, and I'm not sure what ech means, but they come down to the chair of the Rekia on the left, and Nachim Bey, and they dwell upon it, and the chairs connect to each other, and Naktin Kol Inam Shutim Megavayu, they take all these networks which you thought before, the Tov networks, the 17 networks, the 365, the 75, and they bring it into the very depths of the Tohem. And then a chair comes up and rises up from all the Tohemas. And then there's another chair which comes beneath it at the very bottom of the depths to replace it. Between these two chairs, you have all the Tohomos going, fluctuating back and forth. And all those pipelines. They're embedded between these two chairs, Shivim V'chamesh. So in the 75, Inun Shiva, which are 7, Inu Eloi the Kula, V'choina, these are the highest ones. Choina, all the other ones are 365, I guess. Achinambu, they connect them. Kula Itse B'gaguli, the high Krasai B'sitroda. And they're all linked to the movements of these chairs on this side. Okay, so we're going to have to come back to this later, obviously, but this idea is obviously that there's this connection between the chairs. One of them has risen up and still connected one below, and there's this idea that there's this interplay of all these things, all the slow saseh we spoke about yesterday, which allow us to create the sasgoina down here below. Okay, this is pretty cool stuff. We'll see where it goes next time. That's it for today.